welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about how we can manage to live on one income, and not necessarily the tips and tricks that I have, because I plan on sharing those in a different video, but more about the biggest reason why I think we can manage this lifestyle. So hi and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Tiana and I'm a stay-at-home mum living in New Zealand. I share a lot about living on one income and how we can manage this lifestyle over on my social media pages, but this is my second video back on YouTube creating long videos, so I'm excited to get to talk to you guys a little bit more about this. Before we get into the video, I am making a lemon yogurt cake, and I was given this recipe by an old cafe that I used to work for. I really liked the version of their cake. I used to have it all the time on my tea break, but I have adapted it slightly, so instead of using oil, I'm using butter, and then I'm using a whole lot less sugar as well. So I will leave the recipe down below in the caption, because it's such a fluffy and moist cake and best served with yogurt in my opinion. It's super delicious and it will please anyone. So over on my Instagram, my TikTok and short videos on YouTube, I share tips on how we manage being a one income family. And as I said at the start of the video, I want to share more about those, but in this video I want to share about the biggest reason why, and that is, I believe, because of our lifestyle and our way of living. So let me explain a little bit about this. Now, all of the tips and tricks that I have and that I share about, when you combine all of those together, it does create this way of living, and a lot of that means having a frugal mindset when it comes to money and being very intentional about purchases. Now, I believe shopping addiction is to fill a void for most people. It's not always the case for some people, but I do think it is a big part of it. So I want to tell you how I managed to stop my shopping addiction, because when I speak about having a shopping addiction, it doesn't come from a place of judgment, it comes from a place of understanding, because I've been there before. I have had afterpay accounts ticked right up to a point where I could hardly afford the next payment, and I was left with no extra money in my bank account to get through the week, and I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I definitely used to buy a lot more than I needed. I was the kind of person who at Christmas time would spend a ridiculous amount of money on presents for everyone, and it was all just cheap crap, but I thought the more the better, and I never focused on the quality of things. So this is how I stopped that, and it sounds pretty simple, but it definitely was not easy to realize this or get to this point, but it was to find creative hobbies that I really enjoyed doing. So I discovered sewing, and I started teaching myself how to sew. I just went ahead and brought a sewing machine and committed to it, and after that came gardening. I had been gardening for a few years, and now I'm at this point where I'm a lot more confident about it, but I'm still learning every year. And then there have been other things such as knitting that I have got my mother-in-law to teach me a little bit about, and then also my nana has taught me a little bit about it and given me some of her knitting needles and wool so that I could get started on that journey. And then there's been cooking. I've always loved cooking and baking, and that has really kept me busy in the kitchen and creative as well. So why do I think that creative hobby stopped my shopping addiction? Well, they kept me busy and they kept me distracted from otherwise strolling down the aisles of Kmart and endlessly scrolling on online shopping and buying things that I didn't need. And the funny thing is that my creative hobbies now actually save my family money. So another thing I really love is op shopping. And well, op shopping is not only much more sustainable than buying new, but it also saves us a ton of money. Same goes with sewing. I can now buy thrifted sheets or fabric for a really good deal and make clothes out of it for my family. And the list goes on and on. So I discovered these hobbies one at a time. I did not just learn to do all of this overnight. I had to build on each one of these, and in the end it's just become a lifestyle, and yeah, like I said, just our way of living, which ends up saving my family a lot of money and being a sustainable way for us to live. So the other day I went to the op shop, and on my way out I seen something that caught my eye, and it was a little bit of an impulse purchase, and I'll tell you why in just a second, but I couldn't leave it behind. So let me show you what I bought. Now, you might know what this is straight away, or you might be wondering what the heck did I buy. And it is this Laura Ashley wallpaper, and there was 7 rolls of it, and it was super cheap, and I just love it so much. So let me show you what it looks like. It's very hard to tell in this lighting, so I'll show you up close. But I can just imagine this in our future home, and that's exactly why it was a little bit of an impulse purchase, because we can't use it just yet. But I know that this small price that I paid for it is going to be so worthwhile in the long run when we can use it. And I'm just super excited about it. I will probably stare at it for however long it takes until I can use it. But I'm just really excited about this impulse purchase, if you couldn't tell. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you would like to see more videos from me, then please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next one.